Marx was a terrible chess player and would frequently lose to his children.
The bourgeoisie, historically, has played a most revolutionary part. In proportion as the bourgeoisie, that is, capital, is developed, in the same proportion is the proletariat, the modern working class, developed. The bourgeoisie is unfit any longer to be the ruling class in society, and to impose its conditions of existence upon society as an overriding law. The worker of the world has nothing to lose but their chains, and a world to win. The bourgeois is like all other men, naturally indolent and capricious. The proletarians have nothing to do but to free themselves from the domination of the ruling class.
Marx and his family lived in poverty for much of his life, and he relied heavily on financial support from his friend and collaborator Friedrich Engels.
The power of the state is nothing but organized violence. The theory of communism may be summed up in one sentence: abolition of private property. A specter is haunting Europe, the specter of communism. The state is nothing but a machine for the oppression of one class by another. The theory of the communists may be summed up in the single sentence: abolition of private property. The ruling ideas of each age have ever been the ideas of its ruling class. The bourgeoisie has stripped of its halo every occupation hitherto honored and looked up to with reverent awe. The state is the relations of domination and servitude, the organization of exploitation.
Marx's commitment to social justice and his belief in the power of collective action continue to inspire activists and scholars around the world.
The proletariat must act as a class and must oppose itself to all other classes. Social progress can be measured by the social position of the female sex. The bourgeois society that has sprouted from the ruins of feudal society has not done away with class antagonisms. The bourgeoisie has torn away from the family its sentimental veil and has reduced the family relation to a mere money relation. The proletarians, in proportion as modern industry develops, find themselves more and more excluded from the enjoyment of the fruits of their own labor. The proletarians are formed into a class only by their connection with the whole of the bourgeoisie, through the whole of the bourgeois conditions of production. The development of modern industry, therefore, cuts from under its feet the very foundation on which the bourgeoisie produces and appropriates products.
Marx once wrote an essay titled "How to Cook a Good Soup" for a local newspaper.
The bourgeoisie has, through its exploitation of the world market, given a cosmopolitan character to production and consumption in every country. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. The production of too many useful things results in too many useless people. The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Capital is dead labor, which, vampire-like, leaves only by sucking living labor, and leaves the more labor it sucks. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Democracy is the road to socialism. The weapons with which the bourgeoisie felled feudalism to the ground are now turned against the bourgeoisie itself.
Marx's ideas heavily influenced the formation of the Soviet Union and Communist China.
The discoveries of scientific knowledge and its practical application to industry and agriculture have made necessary an immense increase of population. The proletarians have no country. Capitalism is not, as it is sometimes represented, the exploitation of one class by another. It is the domination of society by the owners of property. The oppression of the working class will go on so long as the capitalistic system lasts. Friedrich Engels and I were the first to bring the idea of communism before the public as a practical movement. Society as a whole is more and more splitting up into two great hostile camps, into two great classes directly facing each other, bourgeoisie and proletariat. Let the ruling classes tremble at a communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. The bourgeoisie, wherever it has got the upper hand, has put an end to all feudal, patriarchal, idyllic relations.
Marx's critique of capitalism and its negative effects on society helped to lay the groundwork for modern social and economic theory.
The executive of the modern state is nothing but a committee for managing the common affairs of the whole bourgeoisie. It is not the consciousness of men that determines their being, but on the contrary, their social being that determines their consciousness. The relations of the husband to the wife and parent to child are relations of possession, in which the one rules and the other is ruled. In place of the old local and national seclusion and self-sufficiency, we have intercourse in every direction, universal interdependence of nations. The workers have no country. We cannot take from them what they have not got. The philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it.
Marx's favorite drink was rum and milk.
The proletarians have no country, and their means of livelihood is so precarious that they're forced to migrate from place to place. The first requisite for the happiness of the people is the abolition of religion.